There's pressure on the Albanese government to offer deeper tax cuts after the largest federal tax haul in almost a quarter of a century. Government spending as a percentage of GDP is also at the highest level in 40 years outside of the pandemic. Joining me live is Liberal Senator Jonathon Duniam. Jonathon, thanks for your time this morning. Does this actually place pressure on the Treasurer to deliver more tax cuts considering the deficit?
Well, I think, Kenny, it's good to be with you. What it does do for the Treasurer is it does put light to the claim that he continually makes that Australians are keeping more of what they earn. How he can make this claim when really Australians are only getting a meagre benefit from the cuts applied by the government, but they've then been able to catch this massive haul of taxpayers' money, $14 billion of extra money, does rather seem like a galling revelation for Australians who are doing it tough out there. So I think the Treasurer does have some explaining to do around what he intends to do for Australians who would like a bit more tax relief, what their plan is. Indeed, though, dealing with deficits, while there is a significant tax take there is also a government spending problem, and we've seen that evidenced right across a number of portfolios over the last 3 years. They don't have a plan to rein in a lot of the expenditure they seem to be committed to. So this government takes more of your money, spends more of your money, has the impact on inflation and interest rates that we know. He's got to come up with a plan here. Stop crowing about these things as if it's good news for Australians when, frankly, it isn't.
An 8% increase in spending in the last year alone, that spending growth, it does make it hard to address bracket creep, though, on income tax, doesn't it? And reduce taxes in general when there is so much spending.
Well, frankly, if the government claim they don't have control over how much they spend, then I don't know what they're doing. They do have control over what they spend. Yes, there are programs that are important to our country when it comes to healthcare and social services. And of course, anyone who ever mentions spending cuts is attacked for saying, oh, we're going to cut health and cut social services. There are ways of managing how much money this government spends. They're addicted to spending. They're refusing to look at sensible measures around how they could actually do it. I mean, you look at this ridiculous Housing Affordability Future Fund, which had only built 17 homes, $10 billion worth of money, of taxpayers' money there. That is not a good use of taxpayers' money. Something that generates housing construction would be. This is not that. So look at spending, and then you might be able to bring down the deficit, as well as rewarding Australians who are paying inordinate amounts of tax and doing it tough out there. The government should be able to walk and chew gum. At the moment, it doesn't seem they can do either.
Yeah, it's just a big question is where to cut it. It seems Jim Chalmers also is not in a hurry to introduce an EV road user charge. More than 50% of all new cars sold need to be EVs to reach the 2035 target, and that's according to the Climate Change Authority. Do you think, would a road user charge discourage people from buying an EV?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, when you consider most of the people benefiting from the tax cuts available for those who are buying an EV, of course, are in the top end of the tax bracket scheme there. The idea that we continue to penalise people who can't afford to buy a new EV because they continue to pay excise on the fuel that they put into their car to maintain our roads, etc., but let EV users off the hook is sort of a hallmark of the approach to policy of this government. This blind pursuit of making sure people drive EVs, regardless of what impact it has on their ability to pay the bills, etc., I think is, again, another sign of the bad policy this government proceeds with. So there needs to be equity in this system to penalise completely those who continue to drive petrol or diesel cars, but in the pursuit of ensuring we meet this ethereal target set by the all-knowing Climate Change Authority, I think is bad policy. We've got to do something again. It comes back to this point of making it equitable and fair for Australians who can't buy an EV, can't buy a new car, which is the majority of Australian households.
Jonathon Duniam, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much. Speak to you again soon.